Hey guys, welcome in. Today we are talking about number 9 on Tom Ferry's top 10 obstacles and difficulties that top producing realtors are running into nationwide, according to his AI, according to 250,000 hours of coaching that he put into his AI. This is number 9 on the list. What is it?
So this one is really interesting because I think we all struggle with it and don't quite realize that we're struggling with it, and that is decision fatigue and role confusion. So top performers do not struggle because they are lazy. Like, we can say, we know top performers are not lazy. They are some of the most driven people that are around, but they really struggle with wearing too many hats and making too many decisions, and it's causing them that decision fatigue and role confusion.
I mean, we could just stop at fatigue, because I think for whatever reason, so many of us are fatigued at the moment with all what's going on in the world, the crazy industry we've chosen, and just you enter the day with 17 different plates spinning. It's like, where do I even start?
Yeah. Well, it's because we're doing too much. Like, really, we are. I mean, you go on social media and there's this ad you could be running, and there's this thing you could be doing, and oh, there's this CRM. Oh, and this is the best new pay-per-click, and oh, you have to use this script. Oh, you got to do this on social media. It is constantly overwhelmed, and I feel like, the really big thing, and I have it here, it's like the result of that is like burnout. Really, it equals burnout, inconsistency, and stalled growth when we have so many plates spinning.
Well, it makes us look at somebody who seems like they have it together. They're putting big numbers on the scoreboard, lighting up the scoreboard. It's not that they're doing more, they're deciding less, right? And so they pick top 3 things, I think, is in the research.
Number one, number one was exactly. So just pick your top 3 things that you should be doing.
Top 3 revenue generating activities, and stick to those 3 things with consistency, right?
Yeah. Well, right here we had it as 20 calls a day, 5 follow-ups, and 1 appointment set.
Yeah.
Break it down into simple action items and simple things, because when we can break it down and make it simple, the brain doesn't have to overwork and overpower itself.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, cool, 20 calls. I start jamming in. I hit 10. I'm like, cool, I only got 10 more calls to go. Let's go. Make it easy. But, high performers don't do more. They do less. They just focus on the higher income producing activities.
Well, say now, but as a business owner, you still have to do things like payroll. You have to do things like admin. How do I work? We all have 24 hours in a day. How do I get my top 3 lead generating activities and still put on the CEO hat, and still put on the admin hat, and still go home and be dad and mom and whatever, right? How do you do that?
Well, I think that's when you have to define your role by time and not by emotion, right? Not by like, what am I feeling like doing right now? Do I feel like doing admin right now, or do I feel like making content right now? You have to have it time blocked and time structured. So like 10 to noon, you're prospecting. That's when you're doing your 20 calls, your 5 follow-ups, you're setting 1 appointment.
Okay.
From noon to 1, you're doing content creation. You're setting up what your posts are for the week. You're batching your content.
You're doing a video.
You're doing a video. You're setting that up. Then maybe take a little break. Have a little lunch, go on a little walk, do something,
Move your body, get under the sun, get
and
under the
then
sky.
maybe like 3 to 4, 3 to 5 is strategies, decision-making time, where you're sitting
Working
with
on your business.
where you're sitting there with your team and you're coming up with ways or things that what didn't work this week, what should we be doing, what can we see, what can we course correct, having that kind of moment, but really identifying your day by time. So what does that mean? Time blocking.
It
Like,
all comes back to
as
time
simple as
blocking.
it is, but really identifying where your highest amount of energy is, because if your highest amount of energy is first thing in the morning, you don't want to be doing admin tasks and data entry and the HR stuff when you have your most energy. That's when you should be prospecting and making calls and being in front of people.
Well, and most of us, what we do is we're dad, and then we're title guy, and then we're prospecting title guy, and then I'm go back into problem solving, and then I'm right back into dad, and then I'm over here in prospecting. I try to do 17 things all in the same 5 minutes, right? So if I can know my role in that time frame, and I can identify the top 3 things associated with that role over that time frame, I have a higher likelihood of getting stuff and moving the needle. And then I have a new time frame where I'm a different role and I'm CEO of the company in that role, and I have my top 3 things I need to get done. I have a good chance of getting those things done because I know my role. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But most of us, it's just like a blender. It's just like a swirl of like, I have all these hats and I got to do all these things. And then we wonder why we're freaking out and running into the freeway, just completely fatigued.
Because we don't understand, we don't know where we should be doing. That's where our confusion comes in. So we really have to stop doing things of like, what do we feel like doing right now? I mean, we talk about this a lot. Like, motivation isn't always there. The motivation to go to the gym or do your things aren't always there.
Right.
So you have to have the discipline to do it and know, okay, it's not necessarily what I feel like doing right now. It's what role should I be in right now.
Absolutely.
So what role, what time am I in to be in there?
Well, and you just have categories throughout your day, and your calendar dictates the role you're playing and the activities you're doing within that timetable. And I'll tell you, it takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to decide what you're doing day to day. And if you follow, nobody ever feels like calling people that have told you to F off for the last 5 years, right? Nobody feels like calling them. But if it's in your role and you're designated to do it, you probably do it.
Oh my gosh, I posted the funniest video yesterday. One of our clients posted it. It was so cute. He lights his candle when he's prospecting, and his thing is like, I'll be done prospecting when my candle goes out. And he's sitting there and he like lights his candle and he like picks up the phone but doesn't pick it up, and then he's like blows it out. And he's like, okay, day's done. Like, that's it. It was so funny. But the moral of it pretty much in the caption was, as business owners, as realtors, we know we need to be prospecting, and we need to have those times set up in our calendar. So it was a funny post, but we know, like, he knows that that's something he has to do for his business. So then in that time, he's playing a role of prospecting.
Right. I mean, you have to enter your day, do the things dictated to you that you know will work, take the emotion out of it, do it, get it done, on to the next thing, and you have the chance to having an organized, like, impactful day. Whereas if we're all over the board trying to be all things at once at the same time, that's why we're burned out.
Well, and I think the other thing too, with a lot of burnout that comes with the decision fatigue. Sorry, I'm a little fatigued today.
Yes. Too many decisions.
Too many decisions, but I feel like a lot of us, especially as entrepreneurs, as drivers, we're always wanting to reinvent the wheel, right? We're always wanting to come up with our system, our new way. This has to be my way because I created this. But really, we don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time. Yeah. So number 4 on the decision fatigue route was having repeatable systems. So we talk about this a lot, but not just repeatable processes, but the same script for when you're circle prospecting, the same open house process, the same open house scripts when you're calling around your open houses, the same buyer presentation every time you walk them through the process. Having it repeatable every single time so you're not trying to fix it and recreate it each and every time.
You know what loves it? The brain loves that. The brain craves sameness and repetitive and like patterns. Yeah. Okay? Predictability. The brain craves predictability. Not to mention, it'll fall into the energetic state of like when you're prospecting, it'll get used to having to get your energy up. Maybe you have your cup of coffee, you're ready to roll, you're inserting energy into those conversations because you need to when you're prospecting. And then you can kind of mellow out when you're doing your data entry in the CRM or following up on emails or setting up showings. You don't need all that energy for that time or payroll or something.
Totally. Well, and I think like if it's something you've done twice, it should become a system and not a new decision every time.
Exactly.
Like if you have done it twice and it's going to be something that comes up, that's something you need to put a system around and not make it a new decision every single time.
Well, we hear this a lot. So what do I say, Haley, when I'm as free as a bird, I go where the day takes me, I just want to be a free spirit. But I mean, don't you think of Jocko's like discipline equals freedom?
Right.
You want to be free? A little bit of discipline, because I can tell you, we live days that are kind of mapped out for us, and we just have to enter the day, and before you know it, it's like 6, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just cruise through your day. You got appointments, you got prospecting. But
it also does give us the freedom for when we do have those, like we know we do put a lot into what we do, and we really have our days mapped out and we have it time blocked. We know when we're in CEO hour. We know when we're in consult hour. We know when we're in cleanup aisle number 9 hour. Like we know when we're in these times, but it also allows us to have those days when we do have to hit the F it button, and it's like, today is just the day. Like I looked at my ring this morning and it said, don't push it. And I was like, That is a sign because I
So we're
felt
not
it.
pushing it.
So we're not
We're
pushing
not
it
pushing
today.
it.
We're not
No,
pushing it.
no.
But it gives you the freedom to know you can have those days without feeling guilty about it, without feeling, because as drivers, as people that are always doing things, we feel like we constantly need to be doing something, right?
Yeah.
We're always like, I constantly should be doing something. That's where a lot of this decision fatigue comes into place too, because we're always thinking like, well, if I'm not doing something right now, I must be doing something wrong.
Well, it's kind of like no response is a response.
Right.
No action
Can
is
be an action, yes.
You need recovery days, and we need people like us, drivers, like you say, need to hear that because you need to sharpen the saw, get away from it, so when you come back to it, it's fresh. You're hungry for it. You're back in and bring energy to it. But if you go nonstop, you will burn out and you'll hit the F it button real quick.
Well, but if you're always constantly going with the wind, though, where's your business? It's probably always going with the wind.
If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Right. So your business is probably a little whimsical if you're a little whimsical.
And you know what? Look, we all have the beginner's mind. We're going to fuck it up and figure it out, which we love to say. But start and just move in that direction. Start with a couple 30-minute things throughout your weekly calendar, where whatever it is, whether it's payroll, prospecting, follow up on leads, etc., that for that 30 minutes, that's all you're doing and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And have like 3 spots like that in your calendar, and then start filling in the blanks, because you'll love the regimen. You'll love the protocol over time, because then it takes the brain out of it, all that fatigue from making all those decisions and all that role confusion from wearing all those different hats. It starts to dissipate, and you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you're saying when you're doing it. And then next time table comes, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And it starts to take shape.
Right. Well, and then you're able to start delegating it, right?
Yeah.
So that's number 4. It's like, we have to remember when we do get to these roles, when we are at this high level, we have teams and we have, we're doing 10, 12, 13 plus transactions a year, and we're trying to manage multiple people and multiple things.
Virtual assistants, CRMs.
All those things, that's where you really have to start asking yourself, what can I delegate and what task am I doing? Am I doing an admin task that's probably, I can't even say $10 an hour work anymore, because that is not even minimum wage. So $20 an hour work right now.
Or is it the $500
Or is it the $500 an hour work right now? And when you start making those decisions and start realizing, hey, if I'm just sitting here doing this admin entry, this is probably $25 an hour work that is not the highest and best use of my time, and I should be able to start delegating that out. So your business doesn't get stuck. We just get over functioning on things that we shouldn't be spending a lot of time on.
Yeah.
And that's
really
where,
well said.
and we do that too. We catch ourselves in emails and doing these things, and then we're like, don't we have somebody for that? Like, isn't there a title officer who is able to go through all of this? Like, we find ourselves, but that's what we're here for, and we love it. But we do catch ourselves all the time doing things where we're like,
we're on the journey with you. Like, we're not by any means do we have this down. We have like a semblance of this in our calendar.
No, we had to have notes for this.
This is new information. No, you kind of just create boxes for the chaos. Because look, this business is chaotic, and you're going to get pulled off task, and you're going to have tons of people vying for your attention, texting you, calling you, suicide dialing you, all the things, right? That happens a lot in our business. But if we have containers for the chaos and the different kind of chaos in the different containers in our day, we stand a fighting chance.
We're able to contain it a little bit, right?
A little tiny bit, right? And does the lid fly off the box from time to time? Absolutely.
Yes.
But by and large, it brings a little bit of peace, a little bit of clarity, and I think that clarity builds confidence, and confidence builds conversion.
Absolutely. Right? Well, that is so true, and I think leading that into the last thing that we have, it's really having where you're able to make those decisions ahead of time. So going back to your I'm just going to go where the wind takes me today, or, we have it a lot. We get people, oh, hey, it's Monday morning. Hey, can you meet Monday at noon, today at noon? And we're like, our whole day is booked out. And that's because we usually book out our calendar a week to 2 weeks out in advance, so we know exactly what we're doing at those times. And that's what is number 5 is when you wake up and decide your day, your day decides you. Like
right.
your day decides what it's doing for you.
Yeah.
But when you can take a Sunday, like this is what I do. I know every Sunday I usually around 7:30, unless it's a Sunday fun day. You know, we have those every once in a while. But typically every Sunday I go through and I look at the week on our calendar and then I write it in my planner. We have it on our calendars on our phones, but I like to write it down too, so it's like stuck in my head of I know what I'm doing, because I have my personal stuff. I have when I gotta get a spray tan. I have my stuff that I do, and that's all fit in there too. And
Different
so,
colors, people. Different color pens.
My my calendar is color coordinated, but the point is
scented too?
no. But the point is, it takes that decision fatigue of what am I doing today? We know when we're prospecting. We know if a meeting cancels, we're getting on the phone. We know Mondays are usually a lead gen heavy day. We are both on the phone all day Monday. What are Tuesdays? Are you setting appointments? How do you have your day set? So really having your week set and knowing what you're doing helps create that clarity of where your week is going to do.
And when you're clear, I love that line. Clarity equals confidence. Confidence equals higher conversion. You're bringing some conviction into what you're talking about. You know what hat you're wearing. You know how you can help that individual and what value proposition you bring. And you're steady and sturdy and clear in delivering that message, which means your closings go up, your business goes up, and you don't, all without the fret and the fatigue of making 17 decisions all in the same minute. So.
Well, and I think if you are feeling overwhelmed that like, oh shit, I'm either not doing enough or I'm doing too little, right? There's always the, I'm not doing enough or I'm doing too little. There's never like the, oh, I got this just right.
Yeah.
But I feel like that just right is because you haven't quite decided on what actually matters, right?
Yeah.
And so when you think, when you're overwhelmed of like, oh, I'm doing too much or too little, I think it's because we may not have prioritized what we actually should be doing and what actually matters.
Exactly.
So I hope that helps with 5 things. I feel like that kind of helped us a little bit. I was like, oh, I could see that. I could see that.
I feel better. I feel better.
I feel better. Ryan decided he's just going to start wearing black shirts so he doesn't have to worry. I feel like as I mean, I'm sure other people struggle with this, but women probably more so, like trying to figure out what the hell we're going to wear. Maybe that will be part of my decision making is Sundays. I've said this before, plan out what I'm wearing. I've said that before. That never happens.
That's a game time decision.
Yeah, that never happens.
There's weather. There's how you feel about it.
There's the what you think in your head, and then you put it on, and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought in my head.
Happening today.
No, this is not what I thought this was going to look like.
So if you want help identifying what's moving the needle in your business, what possibly you might be missing that is impactful that we're seeing by working with tons of top realtors and top teams, we're happy to go over a prioritization of the list of things that can really help you going into this summer. It's properties are trading, businesses are happening, refinances are happening. So we want to make sure you get your unfair share of those deals, and it's just a little bit of discipline will lead you free from all of that decision-making fatigue.
Yeah, and we can help do a full business diagnostic, whatever.
Take a look under the hood.
Take a look under the hood. We can definitely help with those strategies and helping to see if there's things we can eliminate. Maybe it is time to get an assistant. Maybe it is time to take that next leap and start thinking about a buyer's agent or things like that. So we would love to be a part of your team and help you with those kind of strategies. So I'm Haley.
I'm Ryan. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.